Hello, my name is Francis. Welcome to my boxing coach. Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. announced for the 29th of July 2023. A fight that I'm really looking forward to. I don't often look forward to big fights, haven't done for quite some while, to be honest with you, or so-called big fights. I'm looking forward to this one. But, you know, trust boxing as if, you know, they can't just give you good news at the same time or about the same time. The joke that has become the heavyweight division has announced Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou. Sublime to the ridiculous, but what are you going to do? So at the end of this video, I'll have taken you through what I think could happen on the night of the fight, and ultimately who I think will emerge victorious. Before we get started, go download your book, The Beginner Boxer Toolkit. 68 pages, full of insights and help to allow you to structure your whole approach to your boxing training, whether you're doing this for fitness or whether you're doing it for competition. How to get the right mindset, how to set up your own home gym, the 10 core skills, heavy bag, 7 steps to punching power, 5 building blocks of super shadow boxing, and how to set up your training regime. Loads of stuff in there. It'll be a book that you come back to again and again. There is a link down below. There will be a link at the end of the video. Let's go through my thoughts about Crawford versus Spence Jr. So quickly recap about the two fighters. First, Terence Crawford. Now, I've done an analysis on Terence Crawford. There'll be a link up here if you want to go and have a deeper dive into what I think are Terence Crawford's strengths. Go and have a look at that video. But to summarise, Terence Crawford, great southpaw. He has his head off the centre line. His body weight is central. Sort of not on the back leg, not on the front leg. Nice and central, nice and balanced. And his head is kind of in line with his rear foot, so he kind of leans off to his left-hand side. He's constantly wanting opponents to overcommit. Very, very clever. He can switch southpaw, interestingly. So when he's in orthodox southpaw, his shoulders are quite bladed towards the opponent. When he switches to orthodox, he goes a bit more square, so he's a bit more offensive I think when he's in his orthodox stance. He's very versatile. He lands shots on the way in when the opponent's on the way in. And I think he's quite a straight line fighter. He's really good at just coming out of range and going back into range. He's got that perfection, actually nailed, straight line in and out. And he's got a great cadence. He's always high work rate, but he's got this ability to really plow up through those gears and blaze away with hooks. Outstanding fighter, actually. And then we've got Errol Spence Jr. Again, I'll put a link up top here. Another southpaw. Again, his head off the centre line, but he tends to have his body weight on the back foot. So that marks him out as having more of a defensive posture, even though he's quite an offensive fighter. He likes to put pressure on. His long-range work is extremely simple. He has got a really good jab, and he likes to throw looping backhands. But his whole style is about he will outwork opponents, and he will ultimately, his aim is to get people to close range. I think he works really well at close range. He likes trench fighting, but he does it with an elegance. He does it with some beautiful hooks and uppercuts. He's really polished in terms of delivering those shots. Doesn't blaze away with lots of combinations, but it just bangs. It's like a metronome, tick-tock. He just throws punch after punch. So some quite distinguishing features between the two, even though they are southpaw. Now, this is a southpaw versus southpaw match. Over my years in boxing, sometimes even when you're quite looking forward to it, sometimes southpaw versus southpaw doesn't quite go as we expect. I can't put my finger on it. My sense is it's because southpaw versus southpaw meet so rarely. It's not common. Most of the time you're meeting someone with either orthodox versus orthodox or orthodox versus southpaw, just because 9 out of 10 fighters tend to be right-hand dominant, just like the population. So that to one side. Big question for me, what happens at long range? Can Who's the sharpest at long range? Who wins that sort of tactical battle? Crawford at long range is that I think is his strength. I don't think he can handle close range, but I actually think his dominant sort of set of skills and ability to apply tactics is long range. Really good, sort of, that's his space. And Crawford and Spence Jr, I think, is more effective at close range. So I believe that Spence Jr has to work his way in. Now, the key for me is how much punishment does he take coming in, because I just think Crawford is an extremely accurate puncher. He's good defensively. So how much punishment does Spence take to get close? And once he's at close range, can he work hard enough? Can he stop Crawford doing one of two things, working and getting out? So a couple of shots, bang, pivot away and be gone. Or tying him up. Can Spence stop Crawford doing that? Can he get that close range sort of victory? So what will it take for Spence to win? I think he has to win the jab battle. Now, it's going to be awkward because both of them, if they both go with the Southpaw stance, which I expect Crawford to, I think when he, like everything, when he's under threat, he'll go with the stance he's most comfortable with. But his head's going to be off the centre line. Crawford's head's going to be off the centre line as an opposing Southpaw. So Crawford's jab, it's going to be a bit more awkward for him to land, okay? So can Crawford dominate, Spence Jr, his jab he's going to find it a bit more awkward. So I think it might actually end up being a battle of the backhands. But really important, I believe, for Spence to make that jab work and to try and get those first few rounds under his belt without taking too much and trying to bring it to close range. Once he gets up close, he really needs to make that count. He can't afford to be tied up by Crawford. How does Crawford win? Stays at long range, punishes Spence as Spencer's coming in. And when Spence inevitably does get up close, Crawford needs to work and get out, so land a few shots, bang, 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 and away, or tie Spence up, because I think Spence Jr.'s endurance is really good. I think he can, if he drags Crawford into a close range fight, trench fighting, I think Crawford could be in trouble. That's the balance. So, who do I think wins? I just think Crawford has that bit more versatility. He's got more aspects to his boxing. I think he can call upon more tactics, tools and techniques. So I think Crawford wins probably on quite a wide points margin. Both tough fighters. Will Spence Jr. tire towards the end? I just don't think he will, because he's just so well conditioned. But I think Crawford wins on quite a wide points margin. Two fantastic fighters. Very much looking forward to it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave your comments down below. Let's have a little bit of back and forth. Let's see what the opinions are out there. I'm really interested to understand your opinions, so let me know. In the meantime, go and subscribe, get the comments down below, and of course download your book, The Beginner Boxer Toolkit. Otherwise, I will see you soon, and let's look forward to that fight on the 29th.